Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Today, inshallah, we will recite ayat 12 to 24 of Surah Mulk, and then we will go over its translation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير وأسروا قولكم أو اجهروا به إنه عليم بذات الصدور ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور أم أمنتم من في السماء أن يرسل عليكم حاصبا فستعلمون كيف نذير ولقد كذب الذين من قبلهم فكيف كان نكير أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبضن ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن إن الكافرون إلا في غرور أمن هذا الذي يرزقكم إن أمسك رزقه بل لجوا في عتو ونفور أفمن يمشي مكبا على وجهه أحدى أمن يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم قل هو الذي أنشأكم وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون قل هو الذي ذرأكم في الأرض وإليه تحشرون. Okay, so these ayahs are talking about that indeed those so this is talking about the reward of the believers, that indeed those in awe of their Lord without seeing him will have forgiveness and a mighty reward. So and whether you speak secretly or openly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows what is hidden in your heart. Like, how could he not know his own creation? For he alone is most subtle and all aware.
Right. So this is my favorite ayah in this entire surah, where Allah basically talks about that I have created you, and it's very simple for us to understand. Even if you create a drawing, you know the ins and outs, you know the colors that you've used, you know how you created everything, you know the angles and everything of it. And this is where Allah is trying to draw our attention to, is that I created you, I know your ins and outs, I know what you think, I know what your subconscious thinks, I know what you unconsciously think. And this is why Allah is saying that if you are in awe of your Lord, if you are in awe of Allah, without anybody being there, like when this is why when you pray tahajjud, nobody is there. Nobody knows what surah you're reciting, how long you're doing your sujood and everything. And this is the ibadah which Allah loves the most. When you're in private, when you can do anything, there's nobody watching, there's nobody policing you or monitoring you, but you still are remembering your Lord. So that is considered the best ibadah. At least I consider it the best. That's where you're more focused. And that's what Allah is saying, that if you are in awe of your Lord, whether in public or in private, then you definitely have your reward with Allah.
He's saying that he is the one who smoothed out the earth for us humans and animals, so that we can move about in its regions and eat from his provisions. And to him is the resurrection of all. Do you feel secure that the one who is in heaven will not cause the earth to swallow you up as it quakes violently? Or do you feel secure that the one who is in heaven will not unleash upon you a storm of stones? Only then would you know how serious my warning was. And certainly those before them denied as well. Then how severe was my response. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is giving a example. Have they not seen the birds above them spreading and folding their wings? None holds them up except the most compassionate. Indeed, He is all-seeing of everything.
Right. So again, as you'll see, a consistent theme of this surah is that Allah is giving you a warning, Allah is giving us a lesson, and then Allah is giving us an example, so that we may take heed. And that's exactly what's happening here. Allah is giving us an example of a bird, and then He's also giving us an example that I made this earth easier or smoother for you to walk, and it's very easy for us to understand today because now we know, because of scientific advancements, that the way the gravity works on Earth is different than the way it would work on Moon or any other planet. And had it been the gravity not exactly being the way it is, and even our planet not exactly being how far it is from the sun as it is now we know today, what we call a habitable zone, if it wasn't the way it was, even I would say by an inch, they say that then Earth would not be habitable. And it's easier for us to understand and easier for us to reflect on this ayah. So Allah is giving us an example to ponder upon so that we learn from it and we take heed. And similar theme we'll see as we go on.
Also, which powerless force will come to your help instead of the most compassionate? Indeed, the disbelievers are only lost in delusion. Or who is it that will provide for you if He withholds His provision? In fact, they persist with arrogance and aversion to the truth. Who is rightly guided, the one who crawls face down or the one who walks upright on the straight path? Say, O Prophet, He is the one who brought you into being and gave you hearing, sight, and intellect. Yet you hardly give any thanks.
So, Qalilan ma tashkurun is very important for any one who's reading here, because one of the lessons that we have here is that even if every second of our life is spent trying to thank Allah, we still cannot thank Him enough. Because even the tongue that I'm using to explain or even to say thank to Allah is a blessing of Allah. If Allah wants, He can make me not be able to talk. So no matter how thankful we are, you can never thank Him enough for all the blessings that are there. Yet we find it being so lazy that we sometimes struggle to do our 5 daily salahs. And here Allah is saying that even if every second is spent, then it will be very difficult for you to be thankful for what I've given you. So it's important for all the believers to thank Allah as much as you can. And then another example which Allah shared here is that people who have a clear vision, who have a clear goal, who have a clear, like we say in Urdu, a clear nasbul ain. When you have a exactly goal, like this is what I'm striving for. When you have that goal in mind, it's very easy for you to take steps towards that goal. You will be going a lot faster because you will have your milestones to hit, and then eventually you'll get to that goal. So let's give you an example. Consider a person who's crawling on earth versus a person who's sprinting. So the person who's on the straight path, who's sprinting towards his goal, will be faster than somebody who's crawling. Another easy example to understand is if you have a race with a toddler. Of course you're going to win this race. The toddler can never crawl faster than you, right? So Allah is making it very easy for anybody to understand with this example that people who are disbelievers, they're just crawling in delusion and they don't know where they're going. Every day is a new goal for them. Every day they come up with a new theory of evolution and they just start following that delusion. And then they realize, oh, what we were doing was wrong. So versus somebody who is a mu'min, who is a Muslim, who understands where he's going or she is going, the path is very clear for a moment.
The last ayah. Also say, He is the one who has dispersed you all over the earth, and to Him you will all be gathered.
Right. So this ayah, the way I look at it another way is that whether you're in Pakistan, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in India, another place you will see Allah talks about it as well, that the reason why I gave you different colors, different faces, different is just so that you can identify who is from where. It does not mean that a white person is better than a black person, or a brown person is better than somebody in Asia or anywhere else. This is how we can look at it as well, that Allah made us this way so that we're spread around the earth. And the more spread around the earth we are, the more variety, diversity of life, and different weathers that we get to see, different plateaus that we get to see. Some places have a lot of mountains, some places are completely flat. Like if you're in Texas, the plain is very flat. If you are in Montana, you'll see mountains all the time. You'll see a different weather. If you're in Pakistan, the weather is very humid. If you're in Canada, the weather is very dry. And this is an example. This is where Allah wants us to look upon and reflect and understand that all of this is happening in just one small planet. Then imagine how big this universe is. So this is what Allah is giving us as an example, a warning and a lesson all in one ayah, where I have spread you around the earth, and to me all of you will return, and you will be answerable for what you do. So we'll stop here inshallah, and in the next one we will complete the surah inshallah, and then we'll go over a brief summary as well. Jazakallah for watching.